Welcome back to Seahawks Minicamp. It's the final day of the Minicamp before a 4 or 5 week break for the players and the coaches. Kind of looks like the last day of school back there, doesn't it? With the players and their families, some of them here in town for this family picnic today that followed the final minicamp of this off season. A lot has gone on since the end of last season. Matt Hasselbeck talked about that.
A lot has happened, this offseason. A lot has happened, but there's no doubt in my mind that where we are right now, we're a better team. We're a more talented team than when we finished the season. That's a great thing, and we worked hard. We set some goals for the offseason. I think we accomplished those goals. Pete came in and asked us to do a couple things, and he said the most important thing is that you guys got to be able to practice the way I want you to practice and at the level that I want you to practice if you want to compete at the highest level, and that's what we said we wanted to do. So it's a step in the right direction. It's a start, and this is just the first part of it.
A lot has been made of the number of receivers in camp and the fact that so far no one person has stood out above the rest. For Hasselbeck, that is not a concern because the potential for a great core of receivers is here.
I think there's been some guys that have stepped up and bettered their position. It's one of those things where there's been a lot of learning going on, and everybody's trying to learn the system and that kind of thing. And Jeremy Bates made it clear today in our meetings that, hey, we've been learning. Now we got a foundation. When we come back for camp, it's time to compete. And so. I think that's the time when guys will be expected to step up.
And that includes the quarterbacks, Hasselbeck, Charlie Whitehurst, and J.P. Losman.
I think the quarterbacks have all worked hard. Jed Fish has had us here. We've probably logged more quarterback meeting hours than any quarterback group in the history of football. But it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. So I think we've kind of mastered the verbiage and mastered the language that is this offense. I think the next step will be just to figure out what we're most comfortable with and go into those things, because there is a lot of freedom in this offense for the quarterback. So it's just a matter of finding your guys, your receivers you're comfortable with, your tight ends, and figuring out what routes you're best at.
Over on defense, veteran cornerback Marcus Trufant, heading into his 8th season, finds himself in a completely different situation than a year ago. Now he's healthy, and there's a talented crop of defensive backs vying for starting spots and roster spots.
I think it's a good blend, man. We got a nice group. We got a good group. No egos, no attitudes. We all on the same page, and we all trying to get better. We got some new stuff on defense, so we all kind of learning all together, but we putting it together.
Today's minicamp ran about 90 minutes with Coach Carroll and players mingling with some of the corporate sponsors and suite holders after practice. Some of the players had their families here for a post-practice barbecue. They've put in a lot of work this offseason. Now they've got 5 weeks off, but not completely.
For everybody, for myself included, this is the opportunity to get away. We have 5 weeks to get away, but it's also the time to really focus in. So for me, the throwing goes up, the running goes up a little bit, but really, it's pretty organized and designed. And the strength and conditioning staff, gave us detailed books of what they want us to do each and every day. So, just trying to find places to do that while you're traveling, or while you're finally spending some time with your family. This is the chance to do it.
So here's what happens next. The rookies actually stick around one more week, and then they take off for vacations, and coach and the rest of the coaching staff will not see the players until July 30th when they check back in for pre-season training camp. That's when the real fun begins. There'll be 85 players at the training camp, and of course, by opening day, the team roster has to be cut to 53. So there'll be lots of activity in the month of August here at Seahawk headquarters. I'm Tony Ventrella, Seahawks.com.